Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome to my channel, Unorthodox Otaku Guy, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit about the JFJ Easy Pro, about GameCube games in restoration for scratches and whatnot, because it's kind of a touchy subject, and a lot of people don't really discuss it and get it working just right. So, there's a lot of failure that can happen with resurfacing GameCube games. You probably all know about it. Especially because you're probably here viewing this video, and all the videos I see out there are kind of vague and not exactly showing you not only when you do it to make sure they're working afterwards as well. They're kind of just saying that they're doing it. So I'm going to do a video. I got a fresh game straight out of Goodwill, which we're going to toss in, we're going to buff it, and we're going to show you it working afterwards. Alright? So, first things first, I've got my JFJ Easy Pro. I've already got the GameCube adapter on. This is extremely important that you get this adapter. Do not use the JFG Easy Pro without an adapter for GameCube games. There's so many videos out there that just say, oh, just use, the standard one here, which you see there's a big size difference, and then use the fat pads or whatever, like the standard pads, and just, don't use them for any other discs. Well, no. Just make sure you get the GameCube adapter pad. Do not cheap out on these because you're just possibly destroying a GameCube game. I tested it myself just to make sure that it was a little crap and that it was actually worth buying this, and it did end up indeed killing a GameCube game. Thankfully it was something really cheap and stupid and already on the way out anyway, because it had a crack in it was like in the center of the disc, so it didn't really matter. Tarzan Untamed here. This is a fresh Goodwill find. It's complete in box, and I'm basically just compiling a massive archive of anything that I find. So, we've got some scratches on this one, and let's see if I can show you what they look like. Depends on if I can get it to focus on the scratches. That is the hardest thing, but there we go. Alright, see how it's all scratched up there? So you can just see it reflecting in there. There are scratches all over this disc. Alright, even this a little bit of gook, but the scratches mainly are the biggest thing right there. Center's not cracked, and it's totally savable otherwise to get into mint condition. The top side is not scratched, which is always important. So we're going to grab this and we are going to toss it into the JFJ Easy Pro. Okay, so make sure it's centered and flat as much as possible. I'm going to do my best to make sure I do this with one hand, but bear with me. If I have to, I'll set up a tripod, but here. I'm going to put that right there for the second so I can tighten this down. Just make sure it's nice and firm so it doesn't go anywhere. Alright, now in here, I'm going to grab you back, show you. I've gotten it tightened down. This can come loose sometimes, so always check on this guy in between your cycles and make sure it's tight, okay? So we got our buffing pad on here. We're not going to use the sanding pad on this because the sanding pads that they give you are way too tall and they cause a binding on this. And it's literally like a disaster in here if you try it. I tried it once, never again. Thankfully it was on a junky disc, so not a big deal. That for the polishing pad. You see these are my separate ones for the standard size discs for DVD 9s or whatever they are, DVD 7s, not the mini discs. Alright, the mini discs have their own specific pads, and they're a lot thinner too. So, there's less pressure on it. That's a separate compound for later on when I run out. But, basically compounds, we start off with our polishing compound, which I'm running out of, and, no, I'm sorry, buffing compound. I said that wrong. Buffing compound, and then we have polishing compound. This is whatever I have left of it. Alright, I got two things of that. So I'm going to show you the best way to do this without any issues whatsoever. Now, since this pad has already been done a little bit, it's not from the beginning stage of it, we don't have to overload it. So we're just going to put a little dab on each side. Alright. So, one thing I'll like to do is I'll take make sure it's on each side like that. This is a rule I do for every type of disc. Close it down, and you'll see it made a press. Rotate it 180, and the same thing here. Rotate that 180. Close it down. Alright, I'm going to open it back up. And you see it has two dabs there, and those are pressed down into there. So we're going to have the spray that it comes with. Alright. So we're going to spray the disc. This is extremely important. Definitely spray the disc. Alright. And then close it. Make sure both sides are clicked, because you can't touch that when it's running. Alright, so make sure it's clicked. And then you're going to do 1 minute. And it spins extremely fast because the disc, since it's smaller, it has more revolutions per minute. So it's even in instructions that you'll get for the GameCube discs to make sure is 1 minute with each compound. Alright? And when you're first starting out, you want to make sure you cover the entire rim. And it's really important that you do that. Now, there is some rules about sandpaper, and didn't exactly explain it too well, so I'm not playing a game on trying to figure out how to get the sandpaper to work, because it even tells you it's like something about it ruining the pads, which is totally true if you're trying to do something. So I'm pretty sure it says place the sandpaper on the white side of the sanding pad only. Do not use the sanding and buffing pads that originally came with your machine, because it will ruin the pads. So I never got any sandpaper for the GameCube adapters separately. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm only going to use the buffing pads that they gave for the GameCube kit in here. And that's exactly where, you see, that's a thing straight from them. They're pretty serious about this, and that's how I'm serious about it, is don't let people tell you you can do it otherwise. So we already got our first stage done. It only takes a minute. We take off our buffing pad, we go to our polishing pad. Now this is extremely important that you do the spraying process too for the polishing, because the polishing has a lot of friction. So let's open up, we get our polish. Now you'll see my polish is not blue. That's because I've been running out of my blue, and this is a auto car polish, which is essentially the same crap. Same rules apply. Do a 180 press, so you'll see it push down there. Do a 180 rotation. 180 rotation. Okay, open it up. Alright, you'll see it's pressed on both sides. So you're going to take your spray, which, by the way, you could just use glass cleaner. It's not a big deal. But use the stuff that came with it for now. Alright, you got 1 minute. It's going to take a minute to cycle through, which, to be honest, is really not that long. And you'll see that's the third button down. Don't use any other thing for GameCube discs, and everything will work perfectly fine. In the meantime, while we're waiting, found Ninja Turtles for the PS2. It's made by Konami. Thought it was interesting. It's a beat 'em up. There was Battlefield 4. I found it was both discs in there for $2. You know, for $2, you know, screw it. And then this one, Bart's Tale, for Xbox. I was actually pretty excited about this because this is pretty funny. So this was $5, but it's still like a $9 game, just like the Ninja Turtles. That's a $9 game, so not bad. Pretty cool finds. I've been in a drought recently. Tarzan, well, unfortunately, I paid close to value for it. It was $5, which kind of sucked, but it was complete in box, and it's worth like $7. But that's done. All right. So the disc is ready to go. We're done with that. So I'm gonna take that out because I don't have any more GameCube games to do right now. I'm gonna have to switch it over to DVD 9. But let's put this over here. So you know there's no tomfoolery. I'm gonna take this disc off. I will note that there has been something that's very true about the GameCube games and DVD games and whatnot. I put a little like ring spacer on there. It's made out of paper, so it helps with not damaging the top of the disc. It really does help. But while I've got you right there, where are my rags? Where are the rags? Oh, right here. Okay. So the rags that do come with it are actually really nice. They really are. So we are going to spray it now afterwards, since we did it. Do a little nice cleaning. Usually like to clean the edges. Nice swirly motion. Because it gets a lot of A lot of stuff on it. A lot of polishing compound, a lot of buffing compound. So it's good to clean it off, give it a good wipe down, and when you're done, it's gonna look really, really good. And it won't screw up the GameCube game that way. So let's grab the camera. Alright, so now we're up. So this disc is wonderful. I'm going to try to get the light reflected on it as much as possible, but it is not scratched up anymore. If it has any, they're very small hairlines, or I missed some smudges of the polish compound, which are still going, but it won't screw up the edges, which is really important. Alright, because these edges have to stay hard, they can't be rounded, and you don't want it to screw up the data area, which is that coating. So the adapter kits are extremely important. So you see how clean that made that, and I didn't even use sandpaper. Now heavier ones, it's going to be tricky if you want to sand it down, but doing just the buffing process makes this disc really clean. Alright, so we're going to go over here. I've got my modded Wii, because I've been dumping all of them into my archive. So we're going to show you that it works. Alright, it's going to take a second to read. You'll see the prompt pop up. And this is a great way to see if the disc is in perfect shape, because I've seen ones where they have a nick in it somewhere, and if it's in bad shape, you know, you might be able to have it play, but you might have a dead spot in the disc, so like you'll like later on down the game when you're playing it, it might have an issue. Well, if this dumps 100%, that means the disc is 100% good. And I found only one game so far. It's actually really bad, but see, Disney's Tarzan, go to dump, put it on my main path. Alright, and spinning up. Blue light's going there because it's spinning up and dumping. And you're going to see it pop up. I'll actually show you the size of it too, which is kind of cool. If you don't know about these modded Wii's with the hard drive booters, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's 1.36 gigabytes, which is the size of a GameCube disc. And it will go the whole length there, and we'll make sure it works. So I don't want to bore you to death. This is going to be really boring for time, because it's telling me roughly about 12 minutes. So when it gets close to the end, we'll fire this back up, and I'll show you that it's finishing, so there's no tomfoolery on that. Alright? That way, you know it's comfortable, it's a good thing to invest in, because the thing sucked. I did not like the fact that I had to buy it, because I think this thing's like 40 bucks or some shit like that. It's really not worth it, but at the same time it is, because it works. It doesn't screw up your GameCube discs. That's the biggest, most important thing, and I use this even with my real games that I have on my shelf, from Smash Brothers, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, you know, big titles. And I have even 2 copies of Smash Brothers, so it's a big thing that's that you don't want to screw up, because each of those discs are worth a lot of money. You know, they're like $60 games each. So this is how serious I am about doing this type of stuff, making sure these discs are in good shape. Alright, so catch me in a moment. We'll show you the rest of the disc, make sure it's fully dumped, works just fine. And if you want, as a bonus, I will even pop this into a GameCube and show you it works in a normal GameCube as well. Alright, so bear with me. Be right back. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. But you'll see we are at 98% done on the Tarzan dump. It's about to finish. And this will verify 100% that the disc is good. We'll give a little jingle. There we go. The disc is 100% good after a thorough cleaning in the JFJ Easy Pro. I did switch just back to the big adapter because I'm doing some like the barge tail and whatnot, which is actually, by the way, I will show you. God, this thing works so good. I just finished the barge tail, and it's stellar how good this machine works. By the way, this is something really funny. I'll just throw it out there for laughs. For a really disturbing image, flip disc over, and then you see yourself. It's a funny game. Anyways, let's grab Disney's Tarzan Untamed. Alright, now that we are dumped on here, it should be right there. No, it didn't update to right there. Probably gotta refresh the list. But let's take the disc and we are going to bring it to the GameCube, which is in the living room, and we'll show you on that working. So let's head on over to the living room. Oh, let's shut this down. Okay.
Platform wish listing, and presumably they will work on that.
Okay, so we do have to set this up to GameCube.
Very cool. Proton contains a custom version of one.
Turn off the Xbox. Let's grab a GameCube. Not that one. Okay. Here's my primary GameCube. Let's grab the controller. That'll do. Okay. First, you're gonna show that it works. This is the in detail stuff that people don't put in their videos to show that these work so well. Let's go to 3 because I have an HDMI switcher, so I have it on AV. Actually, let's boot this up to make sure it works. Where's my, oh, that's right. I have it set to S video for that. No, not right. There we go. Okay, S video. Okay, so fresh boot. Show you. Okay, so it's gonna go to the thing. There's no disc in there. This is a great way to show disc working right. So we'll go to the disc screen. Pop it open. Let's grab Tarzan. Fresh, clean one. All right, and we will see it pop up. Because this is the truest format. This is a non-modified GameCube. So we got Tarzan right there, and push start, fire it up. See, works wonderful. It actually boots really quickly too. What a shitty game too, by the way. Yeah, this one is my ghetto modified GameCube. This has got a chip in it, and it's been cut up to accept full-sided discs. So we didn't obviously use that for testing because that has a tweaked laser too. This is a raw, untouched GameCube, which is perfect for this type of testing. All right, so that works good. Go into our game. There's no, after boot failure or anything. It's working great. There's no memory card in there. Continue without saving. Oh, come on, you're gonna make me do all this? Alright, just wanted to boot. Yeah, story. Yeah. Yep. Just boot the game. And I can show the game working. See, there we go. Okay, so now you know. Use the JFJ Easy Pro with a GameCube adapter to fix your GameCube discs. Okay? I hope this video is very educational to those who want to play GameCube games in their truest state and try to restore them if they've got scratches, because I know some people have games out there that get ruined and are not readable anymore. And, I've got quite a few games myself in my collection, and I like to take care of them. And I will throw one thing out there: keep them in their original cases to prevent any scratches. Don't put them in game binders. I've actually had it myself. I've had to take some out because game binders actually over time started scratching games. I actually had to re-clean a bunch of games because of that. So this was a nightmare to go digging through all my games. So I hope this video was a great thing to help people out in restoring your GameCube games. I know this wasn't obviously the hottest example, but it's a good example because it was fresh out of Goodwill, because I needed something that was already scratched up because I already cleaned all mine. So, if you like this video, please give it, the like, subscribe treatment, comments. Let me know your type of success. Hopefully this worked out for you as well. And if you know anything else, put it in there that may help other people out. Okay, so as you can see, this works on modded Wii's. It works on normal GameCubes in their untouched primitive state, and it dumps 100% after doing a proper cleaning. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope this helps save some GameCube games out there that might be, close to going out in the trash, unfortunately, because these games are getting old, they're getting more delicate, they're all scratched up, and that's why I'm also archiving and putting on a hard drive, because as they're getting older, they're getting, possibility of losing them forever. So let's protect our games, guys. Thank you, guys. Stay unorthodox.